Jackson is like a demon in comparison.
For
And,
what?
and hold on, the question is, are you so naive to think that's organic? Do you think the internet is organic? Do you think that this is not? And we know how much things are engineered and controlled. Because for us to partake in shaping narratives and controlling discourse, which we do as the ACP and as infrared, yes, we do. And it's a lot of methodical planning and engineering that goes into it that we're doing. And we're amateurs. And we're fighting actual feds and battling them. And we're amateurs who don't even know what we're doing. So to say it's organic, no, we don't buy that. We know what it takes to fight the system. There's nothing organic about it. All right. Zigbee, go ahead. I'm going to reiterate the question I ask every Hasan supporter. Is it possible to be a threat or dissident against the system if the system's media machine is doing glow ups on you and praising you and you're getting no pushback at all? CNN in particular.
The question is, sorry, could you repeat it?
Yeah, can you be a threat to the system if CNN is like doing glow ups on you and giving you no problems? And
No, because they're
right,
agents of the system.
right. I'm glad we agree. Thank you. All right, let's bring up someone else. Jesser, I'm going to ask the same question. Is it possible to be a threat to the system and have CNN do glow ups on you and like cover you so well and make you look so good?
You eating? Hello? This is Woo, thank you, Sleeper Cell.
All right, I think this guy's a little dumbfounded.
Oh shit! Sorry, I didn't realize I was on. My bad. I'm literally walking my fucking dog. That's so funny. Sorry, my bad. So actually, I wanted to say to you guys, I really appreciate you guys for accepting my request. I wanted to say, and this is an exact answer to your question, Haz. So I apologize. I just wanted to get this point in real quick. I wanted to say
All right, we're looking for people to answer the question. K Donk, please, if you heard the question, answer it, and if you haven't heard it, I'll repeat it.
People gotta fix their internet. Should go to someone else.
Yeah. This person is wow, it's like they backed out. I added two people. They backed out. Venice, go ahead. Okay, they left. Jay with the hammer and sickle emoji. Can you answer the question?
Jay, you're on. Are you there, Jay? What are these noises?
All right, get the fuck out of here. How was that? Kevin, can you answer the $1,000,000 question?
Yo, what's good, guys?
Yo, what's up? Can you answer the $1,000,000 question that no Hassan fan can answer?
Sorry, can you just repeat it for me real quick?
Yeah, can threats to the system get glowing glow ups by CNN?
I think honestly, I think yes, if they're trying to like discredit someone else like you guys. Honestly,
Oh,
like if they're just doing it like real
So like
short term, like
you're saying he is a threat to the system, but just not as much of a threat as us. Is
yeah, I
that what
mean,
you're saying?
I don't know if necessarily I think he's a big threat or anything, but I feel like he could be a good gateway. You know what I mean? Like some people kind of get interested in his stuff, and then they go along a path that ends up with you guys, kind of thing.
Um, right, but that's kind of not possible if he's in Cambridge calling Jackson a Fed, right?
Yeah, I mean, I get that, but I don't know. I think a lot of the people who watch him disagree with a lot of the stuff he says, right? Like especially something like that, and that's like kind of like a nice like leftist thing now is just like calling everyone feds, especially you guys for some reason. So I don't think necessarily like he's like some
Right,
kind
and
of
you got to ask the question: what would Feds do to target actual threats? Well, they would Fed jacket them and make everyone believe it.
especially with someone who's nominally left wing or who claims to also be a socialist, that makes it more powerful because normies see that, and this is the power of controlled opposition or radical recuperators is, they see someone who calls himself a socialist calling communist feds, they're more likely to believe it than if Fox News is, saying some dumb shit.
yeah. But if he was like integrated like that, wouldn't he be doing like the pro Rojava or SDF like Vosh kind of positions? Like he didn't he wasn't pro SMO when it started. Like he was saying, Putin is bad and stuff just to be safe, but he was introducing people to the concept of, understanding that, Putin did this because of the like all the NATO influence in Ukraine and stuff. Like he's a safe
Right, but it's
version.
kind of baffling. Like coverage of that war is why I was banned from
Me too.
a
Me
purple
too.
place.
From TikTok.
They deplatformed me, and I was doing very well, by the way. And they deplatformed me because I was being far more direct than that. So it's like, why would they? Now maybe they're not going to deplatform him. Well, okay, I need to tell you how it works with the deplatforming. What will happen is that a think tank will do a hit piece on you, and saying, and all they did to me is they said I repeated Kremlin propaganda, which Hassan also
Yeah.
did, by that same standard. If you're saying this is because of NATO expansion, that's a Kremlin talking point. That's all it takes. The think tank publishes a report. It looks very scientific. It looks very professional. Oh, he's repeating Kremlin talking points. So they're insinuating an agent of Russia. And then a news outlet will cover that think tank's report. They'll cover it. And then from that coverage, they'll reach out to the platform. And the platform, you know, and that's how it works. And that's what happened to me. Why did it not happen to him?
Well, I think he was just really trying to take the safe route because I mean, like, look, like we all know he likes the money, right? Obviously.
Right.
So he's gonna make sure that like that keeps coming in. I know, like, because I was watching Hinkle, like the dive is what his show was called then when it first happened. And yeah, he was going out, he's speaking the truth, and he got axed for it. So Hassan's trying to figure out that right balance. I do think he's more radical than he lets on, but I think it's more so like he is a careerist, like opportunist, right? But I think him existing is better than him not existing for the left
I
because it kind of
disagree.
gets some people who are more lib, right?
I think he no, I think he's got a monopoly on the space, and that if he didn't exist, someone would take his place who's actually like principled and well, maybe not even principled, but actually left wing. Like actually left wing.
And I think me getting some of his fans to come over to us is more a credit to the power of Marxism Leninism, which I've studied deeply, than it is a credit to Hassan. I think I would have been able to find those people anyways. I think it's more likely that he keeps people in a sort of echo chamber. And then, of course, as soon as I actually am part of a real organization doing work on the ground, he starts openly attacking me rather than, and kind of closing off that bridge that his viewers could take from him to me. I don't really give him credit for the overlap in our audience. I think it's just because a lot of a lot of people are looking for something deeper, more theoretical, more a systematic analysis, anyways, than they would be with or without Hasan.
All right, K Donk.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah.
I just joined. Can you repeat the question? Or if
Yeah, the $1 million question is, how can you be a threat to the system and CNN is doing blow ups on you?
how can you be a threat to the system? I
If
think.
CNN is doing blow ups on you like they did for Hasan Piker.
Oh, I mean by attacking their like interviewers directly. Like
Which they
if
don't
you
do.
do research on the interviewers.
Yeah, but did they do that for Hasan? Did they attack him?
Oh, personally, I didn't see it, but
Yeah.
I just
Well, I
love you
recommended
guys,
this.
and
Because they didn't. They didn't attack him. They didn't attack him at all. Um,
Our boy King Ratchet's back.
all right. King Ratchet, what's up?
So, correct me if I'm wrong here. Are you guys angry at Hasan because he called you feds? Am
Yeah.
I understanding this?
That's the
Mhm.
most recent thing. He also said we were a crypto scam when we did not have a cryptocurrency, and it was a lie he saw on Twitter and repeated, and then never corrected.
So I can I be fair here? Because I got to be honest. The last
Yeah,
time
be honest.
that we had a conversation, and this is just purely on Marxist or Marxism, and like, I'm a Marxist as well. And the last conversation that I had with you two, you guys were defending America as like a settler colonial nation, and
Jesus
like
Christ. Can you talk? What does that have to do with feds?
the problem is when you guys are using Marxist Leninism and using
Okay.
it and
You're doing
bastardizing
You
it.
don't
something
know
that's
the Marxist
hold
You're
on,
Leninist
hold on,
position
hold
on
bastardizing
on. You're
it.
America.
doing you're doing
You're
something that's really
bastardizing
bad.
it. You are though.
You are. You don't know the Marxist Leninist position on
Hold
America
on.
and what
Wait,
it's always
Eddie,
been.
Eddie. Don't allow this guy to get away with what he just did. You have a theoretical disagreement with us about Marxism. How does that give you the right to justify slander? Something is either true or it's false. It's
So
the
what?
truth or it's a lie. And
So
someone
help.
is lying about us. And you're trying to justify that lie because you disagree with us about theory.
No,
Now make the connection.
come out. Calm down. Calm down. I want to have a civilized conversation with you.
Make the connection.
The connection is if a person listens to enough of your specific views on something, and you're bastardizing Marxist Leninism, that is
Okay.
people can assume. I don't know if that's his mentality. I'm not Hassan. People can assume though that you guys are control opposition. I'm not trying to be mean when I say
But you
that.
know, okay, I'm gonna explain to you something that we can back up with empirical proof, with actual evidence. So this is proof, this is fact. This is fact. Our position was the norm for the established communist parties, the labor movement, and the socialist movement, period, until the 70s and 60s, with the rise of the so called New Left. And when the New Left arose, the Soviet backed traditional outlook was undermined with the backing of the CIA and the feds, who bankrolled Gloria Steinem, who bankrolled the university academics, and to this day, it's New York Times publishing the 1619 Project. So before you make talking about changing Marxism or whatever, we have proof that the CIA and the feds manufactured your position. Ours is orthodox Stalinism. Yours was created in the laboratories of the federal government. So
Wait, hold on.
don't
Come on.
sit here and try to make a connection between your claim that we're misinterpreting Marxism with, well, that could lead people to perceive that you're feds, when your entire outlook and misinterpretation of Marxism was created by the CIA.
Instead of
Wait, time out.
laughing, look up what Lenin said about the American Revolution.
I would.
No.
I want-
It's you don't even have. You just got to use common
Time out.
sense.
Time out
You
for
use-
just a second. Time
you
out,
use
time out.
common
Look up what
sense.
Lenin
Just
said
one
about
second.
it.
What?
I
No.
would
Think,
love to-
Eddie.
I would
Just
love
use.
to
Don't even
respond. Can I
entertain.
respond?
Use common
Can I
sense.
respond?
Would the feds
Would I-
want
would I make a
Marxism to be something that is part and resonates with the history of the American people and the majority? Or do they want Marxism to be alienated and cut off from the working class, the American working class? Which one is better for them? It's
Time
simple.
out.
Of course
I
they
would love
want
to respond
Marxism
to
to
you.
be alienated from the
I would love
masses.
to respond. I don't want to be angry and like yell at each other. I would love to respond.
Make the
We
argument.
have empirical evidence specifically when it comes to America. So like regardless, the scenario that you're drawing here about America and being the CIA would draw a line with us, specifically Marxists who are reading it from a just empirical standpoint.
What's the empirical
and
standpoint?
that America is a settler colonial nation.
Was Russia
Yeah,
settler
Lenin said.
colonial?
It's true.
Was Russia, sir, was Russia
We're
settler
talking about
colonial?
America right now. I know
I'm
you want to
talking-
pivot.
I'm talking
You're very
about Russia.
reactionary. You're very
Okay,
reactionary.
King Ratchet, you said Marxism, Leninism. Lenin was in Russia. Was Russia settler colonial with the expansion into
We're
Siberia?
talking
Yes or
about
no?
America. We're talking about
Was
America right now.
Russia
I'll get to
settler
that.
colonial
We can
when
get
they
to that.
expanded into Siberia? Do you know
Answer
about a
one
city
question.
called Vladivostok?
You're
Where
very
did Vladivostok
reactionary.
come from?
You're very reactionary. Hence
King
the
Ratchet,
reason why.
answer my question directly.
Hence the reason
Was
why
Russia settler colonial?
you sound
Yay or
like
nay?
a reactionary. You sound like a reactionary. You don't want to have like real nuanced,
Okay.
theoretical conversations. You want
Was
to talk
Russia
about
settler
the
colonial
last
before
conversation that
Lenin?
you and I had.
Was Russia settler colonial under
You're
the Romanov
reactionary, bro.
dynasty?
This
Was
is the reason
Russia
why people
settler
assume that you're a
colonial
Fed.
under the Romanov dynasty?
Oh my god!
Did you
Was
know
Russia
that?
settler colonial
Look,
when they
look.
expanded into Siberia?
Okay, I
Yes
got
or
the
no?
next
Pivot.
point after this.
No. I want him to answer this.
Yeah,
Were
yeah,
they
answer.
settler? Were the borders of Russia defined in a settler colonial way? Ukraine, it's called frontier. Who went into Ukraine? Was that settlement? Was that colonization? And eastward, both westward and eastward. Was there settler colonialism in Russia? Yes or no?
Sure. Let's say sure.
Okay. So, despite the fact that Russia was settler colonial, the Marxist-Leninist position in practice was preserving the integrity of Russian history rather than national nihilism, affirming Russian national identity and the continuity between the RSFSR, the Russian Soviet Republic, and the historical Russian state. And even under Stalin, they extended it from continuity of the historical Russian Empire to the Soviet Union itself in terms of being a successor state.
Okay. Can
So
I respond to you?
why is
Wait,
our
time out.
position
Can I
false?
respond? Can I
Yeah.
respond? Can I respond to you?
Yes.
I have to give pretext of this conversation because the last time that we had a conversation, we were specifically talking about America and the argument that you were making.
What's different?
Time out. Can I respond, bro? Like you have a you're very triggered by this. So like the conversation that you and I were having was about America being specifically different from Israel's, and then
Yeah.
a ton of the examples that you were speaking about was about it was very reactionary and it was very much like Republican-esque in a way, and it was like it was specifically about like, oh, do you know the first person that passed away from when America was turned or turned against the
Wait,
British?
I gotta cut you off. This is really genius stuff. Please keep talking.
It happened. It happened. This is I'm surmising the
It
conversation.
sounded
Okay,
Republican.
can you answer
and
the
it was
question?
it was reactionary, and it sounded Republican.
It was
Bro, this is
extremely
genius.
It was
This is
reaction.
genius.
You-
Oh,
okay.
wow, this is like Aristotle.
When people
What's
listen-
going on?
When we're talking about America, and specifically,
No, no,
you're
no, no.
talking.
Wait. Stop, King. You
You
haven't
were
said
talking.
that
You were
enough
talking to me.
times. Please tell me the
I
country
would
we're
love.
talking about again. You haven't told me
We're
enough times.
talking. Calm down,
All right,
bro.
please make your
Wait,
point,
what
King.
country? Wait. What country are we talking about?
The point that I'm making here is the fact that you went because we were having a civilized conversation, and
Because you're wasting time.
you weren't having the best success in the conversation. You immediately start doing reactionary talking points.
All right,
And
King, what do you think about
specifically,
this?
King, what are you trying to say? What's your response to my point
the-
about Russia right now?
I'm not talking about Russia though. I'm talking about America right
So
now.
what's the difference, though? Why is it
They're
allowed
both
to do
settler
that?
colonial. Why were they
Why
allowed
can
to have a
Lenin?
socialist
Why can
revolution
Lenin
to
do to
preserve their
Russia?
history?
Why can't we?
And we're
Yeah,
not.
why can't we have the same attitude toward the USA, which Lenin regarded as far more historically progressive than Russia, by the way, that Lenin had toward Russia historically? Why can't we have those
All
relationships?
right, I'm making the next point after he answers this.
No, go ahead. Answer that. Make your point, and then
No, answer the question
He's
first
gonna
because my point's different.
He's trying to avoid this. Listen,
I'm
King.
really not.
Bro, listen. You're
Answer it
allowed
then.
to have no, hold on, Eddie. Bro, listen, King. You can have whatever position you want about America. I don't care. I don't really care what you think about America, right? But don't sit here and say we're distorting Marxism, Leninism, bro. You're out of your league. You don't know what you're talking about. All right?
I'm really not.
We
though.
are.
You
That's
are.
our religion. We
Okay,
are
King.
Orthodox Marxist Leninists. We live, breathe, and beep for it, right?
King, do you
Can't say
think
it on
this is
TikTok.
do you think this is a reactionary statement? The
You're out of your
history
league.
of modern
You're saying we're going against Marxism.
Do you think this is an anti-Marxist and reactionary statement? The history of modern civilized America opened with one of those great, really liberating, really revolutionary wars, of which there have been so few compared to the vast number of wars of conquest, which, like the present imperialist war, were caused by squabbles among kings, landowners, or capitalists. Do you think that's
No.
a reactionary thing to say
No.
about America's history?
No. However, what you guys were what you guys were arguing, we got to be
That's
very clear here.
exactly what we were arguing.
No, it really wasn't. What you were arguing was America, specifically the Revolutionary War, had nothing to do with I don't know what words I can get away with. Racism. It had nothing to do with imperialism at all. What you
That
made
was
that
what Lenin
argument of.
just said in the quote I read to you. That was from Vladimir Lenin. We have his position exactly. He said it wasn't imperialist. He said it was
It was.
Listen,
liberating.
bro, King, I'm gonna throw you a
Look, listen,
bone. King, I'm gonna throw you a
what I'm
bone.
gonna do-
I
what I'm
can
gonna
tell.
do is
King,
after this
King.
conversation, I seen it last. I know you're wagging your finger. It feels good to be wrong. However, I saw the last conversation.
I have
that we had.
Asperger's, and I have to do this to tolerate your wait time wasting.
Specifically, and I will.
Round and round it goes like Sonic. I got Asperger's, guys. Listen, let me tell you something.
You don't like to listen.
I'm gonna throw
bro.
you a bone.
You're
I'm
a
gonna throw you a bone.
reactionary. You're a
I'm gonna throw
reactionary,
you a bone.
but it's okay.
Okay, you
That's
can
why
you can
people
call
you
me
a fag.
names. That's fine.
Just keep
Let me throw
saying
you a bone, King. You were not very satisfied with your performance in our last debate, so you
I
came
don't
up
care,
on
bro.
here. You came up in here trying to change the outcome or whatever.
I don't.
Listen, bro, take the L. You took the L.
I'm historically right, so I don't care about performance. You care about performance because you're a debate bro, and debate bros usually care specifically
You were the
about
one just
I
bragging
don't
about
know
how
if
you
I'm
won
a
the
debate,
debate.
bro. I made a very
You're a
simple
debate bro.
Bro,
You are.
debate bro is like
You
when
are
you're
a
like,
debate bro.
oh, bro, a debate bro is a sophist who's like, oh, the logical proposition of the axioms. I'm being real. I'm talking to you like a normal person.
You
I'm asking you
went
why
to
it's different in America
anecdotal
versus
stuff
Russia.
and became a reactionary when I was pushing back on y'all.
No, you're a reactionary. Let me debate like you're debating. No, you're a reactionary. You're the reactionary.
I really don't.
What you're
I
saying
listen
is
to what
very
you're saying and
reactionary.
respond to what you're saying.
Well, it's true.
You-
Last
what-
time we
well, what
talked,
you're
you
s-
said you were explicitly defending racism.
What-
Last time we
well,
talked,
you-
you were being
What?
reactionary.
You're
That's how
being
you
reactionary.
argue. How does
You're
it
being
feel?
reactionary, King.
How do I
King,
argue?
you're being
How do I argue
reactionary.
Okay.
You're the king of reaction, bro. You're being
The
reactionary.
problem is the
Bro,
last
you sound
conversation that we
reactionary,
had,
bro.
the last
problem is you sound
conversation that we
reactionary,
had,
bro.
the last conversation that we had, I brought up.
Bro, this is
I
about
brought up
America, all right?
specifically. Yes,
This
I
is about
brought up
America, and you're being
specifically.
bro. You sound
I
reactionary.
understand. It makes you feel good.
No, when
It
you
makes you
sound
feel
reactionary.
good. You feel
sound
warm
reactionary,
and
bro.
cuddly inside. It makes you feel good. The point that I brought up was the Declaration of Independence and the grievance of the 27th agreement.
That's what I'm
of
saying, bro. You
grievance.
sound reactionary.
Grievance.
You
And
sound
when I
reactionary,
brought
bro.
that up, y'all started pivoting like, oh no, well, let's talk about how, bro, it's on YouTube. I saw that y'all posted it on
Bro,
YouTube.
you sound reactionary, bro.
Anybody on here can go listen to the conversation that we had. It's on YouTube.
You're
It was about a
right.
week
They
ago.
can. So why are you here right now? What are you trying to say? Yeah, everyone can go see what was said. Everyone can go watch it. So what do you want
You're
right now, bro?
The point that I'm making to you is originally, I don't have a beef with y'all. I want
Bro,
to
you're
make this
just
very
trying to
clear.
change the narrative. You're trying to define the narrative now when everyone can see for themselves and draw their own conclusion
The
based on
point
the
that I'm
debate.
making,
You're
the
coming
point,
in here now trying to retroactively change what happened or something.
no, 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 no,
So what are
no.
you here for, bro? What you
The
trying to
point is,
say?
you're upset about why Hassan would call you
A Fed,
a
yeah.
Fed. Yes, and I
Right.
understand why a person would call you that
Because
when you're
Why?
being
Because we have the
reactionary.
same
we
position as
cooked
Lenin.
King. Because we're
No,
Bro,
Feds. Because we made him
y'all
feel
didn't,
bad about losing a debate and then
yeah,
posting
yeah,
it on YouTube.
we're yeah, he understands why we would get
bro.
called
I
feds
didn't
because
lose
we
a debate.
That's
bro,
not what
I
are
my
you
actually
about to
YouTube
won.
say
comments
Lenin
say.
was like a Fed? Are you about to say Lenin was a Fed? What are you even on, bro?
What? What are y'all talking about?
You're saying you'd understand why Hassan would call us Feds because we have the same view as Lenin.
No, I said specifically
Okay,
why,
okay,
because I want to have nuanced conversation. I don't want to argue. That's not what I want to do. I want
bro,
to look.
bro,
Every time I start speaking,
bro. You know what,
Enough
bro?
of that.
You got. I don't want to argue. I want to have a bro. You came in here calling us reaction. Listen, bro. What you want to do is save face after getting defeated in that debate, and you made it that, not us. It was chill. It was respectful. I had no problem with how it went down. Everyone can go see how that debate went down. It was really long, by the way. I was very patient with you. I was like, really, really, leveling, whatever, be in good faith and you're not satisfied with the result. You probably saw comments agreeing with us instead of you. So you're coming in here talking about a whole lot of nothing, and now you're saying, "Oh, I understand why Hassan would say what he said." And then you said, "Well, because you're saying because America's a settler colony, and you don't want to destroy the country America in a socialist proletarian dictatorship." And it's like, well, they didn't destroy Russia, and Russia was also built on settler colonialism in the same way. So I'm just trying to understand why you're saying what you're saying. And I'm not talking about Russia, I'm talking about America. Why not? What's different about it? You gave me nothing, bro. Now, it's always going to go back to that. It's always going to go back to that. You're looping, you're avoiding that. We're going to bring on Nikki, and then we're going to bring on Abdullah. Yo, Nikki. All right. All right. Well, that was a much better guess than the previous. Abdullah, what's up?
Bonsoir à tout le monde.
Man, what the hell is this shit? Man, hell no, man. What the hell was that?
I didn't hear what he said.
I'm talking French.
Ooh. Instant ban.
I mean, I'm just like, what the hell, man? Yo, go ahead, Sludge.
Nikki wants to come back on.
All right,
Request,
Nikki,
Nikki.
request back up.
It disconnected you. It wasn't us.
I don't got a problem with France. I'm just saying, it's like, I don't understand that, bro. You gotta chill. I mean, I can't police, or you could be saying some bad stuff that's gonna get us in trouble. I don't know.
I'm just messing about France. The French Revolution was based to the shout out Robespierre. Should we let Squints on?
Uh, yeah. Also, the Matrix wants to come on.
Take the red pill.
All right, Squints left. The Matrix is here. Yo, what's going on?
Hey guys, how you doing?
Uh, all right. Can you answer the $1 million question, or what's up?
Okay, go on.
Can you be a threat to the system and get glow ups from CNN?
Can you be threat to the system and what?
And get glow ups from CNN, meaning
promoted
CNN
by
will
them.
praise you and will portray you very positively.
Oh no, that's impossible.
Right. I'm glad we agree, bro. Hassan is not a threat to the system. I'm glad we agree. I'm glad we agree. I'm glad we agree. You know, that's what it's all about.
Common ground.
That's what it's all about. Common sense. Because I think it's common sense, but apparently there's people who don't understand this. Yo, go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, what's up? I think I'm gonna be real. I think you can be a threat to the system. I agree with what you guys are saying though, like on the main point. I feel like he's not far left enough. But a guy like me, I used to be a pretty big Hassan guy because I used to be like a Democrat. You know, I used to think that like Obama was a great guy. You know what I'm saying? He shifted me. He didn't radicalize me, but he definitely turned me towards more of a social democrat, where I started saying like, yeah, people should have free healthcare and whatnot. But overall, I think he's a positive force for shifting people more left. But I think that they should be going into more depth on that after they've came them. Me, I don't really watch him anymore, but I think he has his purpose, and I think that we should recognize his purpose. Guys like Hakeem on YouTube are great. I think Midwestern Marks is good. But I think that he does have a purpose, and he can be a threat to the system, but you actually have to let it play out over time. Over time, people will watch his content and turn more towards actual communism.
All right, let me ask you a question. What you're saying may have been true before 2020?
Hmm.
I would give that some credit before 2020, maybe. But now I can assure you, sir, that all of the young men, at least, are all going over to the far right, and Hassan is converting not even one of them.
He's actually a big impetus
And
for
he's
the
one of
far
the
right.
he's facilitating it.
Yeah.
He's an enabler.
They
Are you
all
are you
Because all the
saying
far
that? Are
right
you
has
saying
to
that like?
do,
Are you
the
saying do you
far
think he's a
listen,
tool
the far
to
right
de-radicalize the working
points.
class?
He is hated.
Mhm.
Hassan is hated now by the majority. So the far right point at Hassan and they go, look at this shill of the system. If you're really against the system, join us, the far right. So he's enabling the far right.
Hold up, run that shit back. I mean, bro, I don't know if can I say that. I don't know if I can say that. My bad. But
He's the only, because he's the only major person calling himself the left wing.
mhm.
The far right will point at him and be like, you don't want to go down the left wing path. Join us, the far right. We're the real threats to the system.
But what is he doing that would make someone want to go to the far right? I mean, if you look at him, and
Because
I'm gonna
people,
base it off
I'll
of-
tell you what it
Oh,
is.
yeah, you
Because
got it.
people can see how insincere he is, how inauthentic he is, how much how much he's how should I say politically correct.
Yeah.
How much he's like they rely so much on censorship to keep their monopoly. And look, bro, the purple website is like a bubble. It's literally like a bubble, right? And outside of that bubble, nobody agrees with the culture on that website. And like he is like seen as a gatekeeper, and all of the newest like Kai Cenat and like the WL people, even Aiden Ross, like all of that new generation really hate him a lot.
I want to go back to your point about being politically correct. I don't really think that that's. Again, we can go back to what the last guy was. I don't even need to go there. Talking about political correctness, we don't even need to go there because what does that actually have to do like with really anything? It's just
I'm just telling, don't shoot the
voices
messenger.
his support for like LGBTQ rights.
No, listen,
and,
listen.
whatnot. So I feel like that
Matt,
shouldn't be.
Matt,
Yeah, it's up.
don't shoot the messenger. I'm just telling you what's happening. He is
Well, how?
really turning off a lot of people and making the left wing look really bad
I think
for the new generation of radicalized young people.
I think this is why a lot of people have a problem with ACP. And this is not what I'm not saying this. I mean, I'm not going to say I disagree or agree with them, but it's the fact that I think, and there are certain revolutions that have obviously, and how much I'm trying to say this is that I agree with revolution either way. I think that that's a great, like, obviously it's a great thing to do. I think you're not going to get change through voting either way, and revolution is great. However you can do it is going to be great. But I think that when you talk about, how he's moving people away from the left because he's too politically correct or too
He is
when
objective.
he's too inclusive is what you're saying basically.
No,
No,
say that.
no,
I'm
it's
I'm
not that.
saying
Let's
that.
not
I'm
let's not
saying
try
that.
to let's not
I'm
try to
saying
invite
that
people into the movement who
listen,
are going to
No, dude, we have
seen-
plenty of people with all sorts
he's
of
seen-
sexualities in our party.
No, yeah, of course.
Listen,
Yeah.
the issue is don't shoot the messenger. I'm just telling you how it is. I have questions. They're like, all right, he doesn't even debate, by the way. He won't even debate the right way. So they're trying to like understand and figure out what perspective they should have. And Hasan is just saying, no, just censor and deplatform all of the reactionary people. So when your average young working class person sees that, they're like, hold on, that's not right. Now you could be in the know, and you could
He's
be
actually gone against that when he
hold
talked
on,
about
hold on.
Andrew Tate. When
You
talk
could
about
be
Andrew
in
Tate,
an
he's gone
NGO
against
on a
that.
college
Well, I feel
campus.
I feel like I want to talk about that. He has talked about that before about how deplatforming right wing people, and I remember this, deplatforming right wing people is wrong because then you have these people who think they're in the matrix, like, oh, what they're saying is so correct, they have to silence
Yeah.
them. He's talked about that before and how he is against deplatforming right wing people because of that exact reason. How it makes it
But
seem
in
like
practice,
idiots.
he's not. But tell me why in practice, every single political streamer on the Purple website is gone, including me, and he's still there.
And
That's just what I want to know.
We can go back to the point about CNN. Because there's a difference, and this goes back to the roots of what we were talking about. There's a difference between what you guys are doing and what he's doing. He's not a revolutionary. His purpose, and I think that both purposes play.
Bro, listen, it's not about
No, it is about his
marking
purpose.
Listen,
His
listen,
purpose
bro.
is to-
Matt,
It's
you
about the-
have brothers or cousins or you
I
live
do.
in the real world. But it's not, you can portray yourself as far left or as extreme as you want to be. But if you have no way of communicating your position to normal people without having a politically correct filter that's fake and inauthentic and insincere, you will make no progress.
The
Okay?
What's your what?
The biggest gift. One more thing to add to that point.
Yeah,
The biggest gift that was given to the Trump campaign in 2016 was when Hillary Clinton called his supporters a basket of deplorables. What does Hasan Piker call Trump voters? He calls them hogs. You don't think that helps the right wing?
I'm just trying to tell
That's a good
you-
point, but we don't need to be hung up
I'm
on
saying
political
Hasan's
correctness.
audience, and you should do some self-criticism too. I'm not doing this to
No, I'm
come
not.
at you.
I don't watch Hasan anymore. I've already said that.
I'm just telling you, bro. The leftists in this country live in a bubble, and that you
100%.
don't understand the real world and how real people think, who are outside of the college campuses and the NGOs and the activist circles.
Wait,
It's
you're
hard.
telling me
It's
that I don't.
rough
You're
out
telling me
there,
that
bro.
I don't understand
It's
that, or
rough
they don't
out there.
understand that.
The leftists or leftists in
It's rough
general.
out there,
Which
bro.
maybe you're
Leftists
part
in
of
the
that
real
group.
world,
I don't know.
it's rough out there,
Well,
bro. Hasan is in
I-
his purple castle. Listen, Hasan's in his purple castle, and we're out here in the gutter, in the street, fighting literal Yahtzees by
actually-
ourselves.
Uh,
And no one is even giving us backup or helping us because they're living in their oblivious purple castle in the clouds.
Are you telling them? Are you basically explaining that more workers have to organize and more Hasan fans have to organize, right? I mean, I do organize.
They have to go out and fight
and organize.
the far right that's making inroads with the masses, and they're not doing that. They're just saying we hate the masses. The masses are all settlers. We can't stand the masses. They're hogs. We're better than them.
I also think that Hasan said, and I'll say it again. I'm not a Hasan fan, but I'm not a Hasan hater. I think I'm neutral on him because I think he has a good purpose. But Hasan said before that, like, everyone deserves a second chance, and we shouldn't be pushing out these people because a lot of right wing people they can't make a switch back to not like leftism, but I guess like the Democratic
screw
type of
the
side.
right. I'm not saying show mercy on the right. I'm saying don't run away from them. That's what he
like that
does.
he won't debate right wing people.
Right? He won't engage with it. He won't debate them. He won't confront it.
What does the debate actually solve instead of like an actual conversation?
Because I'll tell you why he doesn't confront them, because he thinks, oh, anyone who would ever follow that person is a lost cause anyway. Well, bro, that's starting to be the majority.
Well, debating them doesn't cause a difference. The only thing that causes a difference
Yes,
is
it
having a
does. You
conversation.
can't give up the fight
No,
for the masses.
Conversation like what we're doing right now is going to cause a difference. If someone's
You
injured,
can't.
like,
No, you have
I
to
don't know,
crush the far right to win the masses, or they won't respect you. If you're running away from them, how are you going to win the masses? How are you going to be respected? You can't just say the masses are a lost cause. What do you mean they're a lost cause? Who are you in your $3 million mansion calling them hogs and a lost cause and saying this country is cooked? You have to fight for the people. You have to fight for this country.
and
we're
you're
doing
right
that.
about that. I'm not gonna like.
And we're being called far right just because we have the courage to be in the battlefield.
To not cede all these points to the reactionaries or cede all these people to the reactionaries, which is one of the things Lenin explicitly calls against.
Listen,
if
I'm
you
just
don't
gonna be
engage,
real.
you're just giving
I'm gonna be
it to the
real.
reactionaries.
All right, the Democrat left from before 2020 that never evolved past 2020. Y'all need to take the L. You were wrong about a lot of things. All right, I'm not going to get into details. I'm going to mention one thing, Big Pharma. Y'all were wrong about that. You were wrong about so many things that you say, oh, this is a far right talking point. You were wrong about these things, and you ceded it to the far right. And that was a big, big mistake.
That's another thing, Hassan. The other day on his show, he said the media got COVID 100% right by getting behind Big Pharma. That is such a gift to the right when he says things
Oh,
like
man, he did so much damage doing that.
that. That's not the
So much
communist
damage.
position. It's not. It's a neoliberal position, and he's taking that position while calling himself a socialist. And it allows, right wingers to point at people like us and say we have those same neoliberal positions when we don't.
Well, I don't know. Okay, hold up. I don't know why you guys are trying to infight with him when they do the same thing to regular Democrats like Kamala Harris, like Trump's campaign, comrade.
Feds.
Oh no! I mean, yeah, no. I mean, that's I'm not gonna. I don't need to go into that. I mean,
No, that's another thing. That's another thing I have a problem with, framing wise. How is Trump to the right of the Democrats?
I voted for Claudia De La Cruz. I didn't vote for either of them because I think they're
Right, but I'm just saying, even Hasan accepts the framing.
And I don't
like
agree with
Trump
that.
is the far right, Kamala's not the far right. Why isn't Kamala far right at this point?
I don't agree with Hassan's actual idea on change. He believes that let's vote in Bernie Sanders to make change. I don't agree with that either. I think Bernie Sanders isn't that great of a person at all either. I mean, I don't agree with a lot of things he says, but I do think he has a purpose in like what he did for me. I agree.
He's got a purpose. Look, bro, I hate saying it, but the ugly truth is that you have college campuses and a bunch of people in corporate careers and in NGOs and in corporate workspaces and like all of these like sanitized, environments that are just totally privileged bubbles. And that's Hassan's viewers. Meanwhile, the rest of the country is rapidly accelerating to the far, far, far right, the youth especially, and none of them are going over to Hasan, and he even knows it. He's admitted it. So he has his bubble that he's kept since 2020, and the rest of the country's in flames. And one of the reasons there's no left wing is because the far right people are pointing to Hasan saying, look at him, he's part of the system. And they're right, he is part of the system. So all of the people angry at the system and the status quo, they're not going to the left, they're going to the far right. And why should that be? It's the left wing that should be against the system.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah,
I'm just telling you the truth.
No, you're right. No, but I mean, I'm not denying that fact that you just said. I'm not like, you're not wrong about that. You're just preaching to the choir here. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just saying, man. It's rough out there. It's rough out there. And Hasan is he's not helping. He's really not helping. Bro, we're in the trenches out there. You guys don't know how much of it is a battle for us, being able to make this position palpable to the real world is really hard. And it's like we're fighting the far right, and then we have Hasan coming and attacking us. It's crazy. It's almost like he's a far right collaborator.
It is. Yeah, I would say to Matt, thanks for coming on and think a little bit about what we said. Reflect on the role that Hasan
Right.
plays, and keep in
Techno.
mind that, he could be, serving a different purpose than just a pipeline to people like us.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to disagree with you guys because I don't really see this point in Hasan being like a bigger threat in terms of like not go on like encouraging more debates with the right. When, if anything, like the most annoying factor of people who just understand that what left wing is, that difference, obvious difference between, liberalism, neoliberalism versus actual like leftism. Like, I don't really get the point in just kind of.
Bro, because the left wing is supposed to go against the system, and the far right is pretending to go against the system, and they're lapping the so-called left
Yep.
in terms of winning the working class and the youth. And
I
that's the
just don't
truth.
feel like there's no point in engaging in that. Like, another good example, like, of somebody who does that but doesn't bring anything good out of it, like, look at Destiny. Every time
Bro, Destiny's not on the left.
He's a
He's not
neoliberal.
left wing.
I know.
Destiny is a
Dio.
right wing
No, and I
liberal.
hate that, like, people like him are trying to make him, like, he's in the left, like, he's a part of this
No,
shit.
he's not. Even he doesn't say that. He is a right liberal. He's a right wing liberal.
Dude, he was literally complaining because he couldn't go to the DNC.
But the Democrats aren't leftist at all. There's nothing left wing about them.
Yeah, I get
What's
that, but I
left
just
wing?
don't understand this whole point and just, like, kind of putting him into this, like, category where it's like he's not for us when it's like, dude, he's, like, not even, like, close to that whole thing. And it's just, like, that constant feeding into the
Listen,
right
bro,
wing.
Hasan Piker is not only a part of the system, he is actually doing damage to the left wing.
Can you go into
Like
detail?
AOC.
He's doing damage to the left wing because if he has a monopoly on what the left wing is, and we're here trying to be an alternative to him, and he's attacking us, fed jacketing us. So he's preventing anyone from being left wing that's not him. And if he's the only face of the left wing, everyone angry at the system is going to go to the far right. Because why is the left wing part of the system? That's what they're going to ask. They're going to say the left wing is the system. All of the censorship, all of the whatever, all of big pharma, the corporations, and that Hasan is the face of that, right? So they're going to the far right because he's imposing himself as a monopoly on the left in this country. And that's a disaster.
It's the
And he
AOC
knows
effect.
He admitted it. He even said in his CNN glow up that all of the young men are going to the far. Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, because I don't
Since
think there's, like, point
2020,
in
he
engaging,
hasn't.
like, in a
He
lot of
built.
these, like, right-wing, like, groups, because all they get out of it is just, like, trying to get their clout up just by doing these debates. It's like they're just going to constantly pull this, no, I'm right and you're
Yeah,
wrong.
I
like,
know, but it's a
crap.
constant. It's a constant battle you have to wage. That's what politics is.
Yeah, but I just feel like it's going to get us nowhere if we continue to do it, though.
No, it's going to get you everywhere. That's what politics is. You have to constantly be in the thick of the whatever the consciousness of the masses is at. You have to be in the thick of engaging with that. And
Yeah, but that
he
doesn't
stopped
matter to
doing
a lot
that.
of these right-wing
He
groups
stopped
because
doing
clout
that
is just,
after.
like, some of their biggest, like, issue. Whether it's not,
But
they can
he's
say the most craziest shit online for, like,
they're
likes and
lapping
clicks and
him.
followers.
They're lapping him in terms of total clout compared. Bro, the purple website is a bubble. I'm trying to tell you that it's a huge bubble.
You mean
If I
Twitch?
if I go to
Yeah,
the
don't
gym,
say it. They'll suppress us.
if I go to the
What?
gym,
Hmm.
yeah, if I go to the gym, if I go anywhere outside and I ask a random person what their opinion is, they're far right, bro. It's
Yeah, I can
crazy.
definitely see that.
It's crazy, So there needs to be a question of, wait, isn't the left wing supposed to be against the system? Well, why is the biggest so-called face of the left part of the system?
Yeah, but I don't see him as like the biggest face of the left, though. If anything, like
Who's the
seeing
bigger
him like
face?
getting kicked out of the DNC because of his comments about them like getting like being funded by
But
Israel.
who's the biggest
says a
face of the
lot.
left? But who is the biggest face of the left then?
I don't think there's any point of like saying who's like the number one. I feel like there's kind of like many who just kind of pick who they want to pick out. Like it's just up to people on who they decide on what.
I'd say he's the biggest. He's the number one on the Purple website.
He's the biggest, quote unquote, socialist influencer in America.
What? Oh yeah, one thing I wanted to ask you guys, like, what exactly about him being politically correct is like too wrong for him? Apparently,
Again, don't shoot them. I'm not the one deciding there's anything wrong with it. I'm telling you that the average person sees someone being inauthentic and not sincere about what they actually believe, but what they know is what they should say because it's the moral thing or the institutionally approved thing. They don't like that. It's ingenuine, it's insincere, and they see it as fake, and they see past it. They can smell it from a mile away.
all because like he kind of speaks out on like issues on like trans rights or anything like that?
Look, I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna say that you could, even if you had those views, you could have any view you want. But if it's not coming from the heart, something that you can communicate genuinely, like why should a random person believe this? Someone who's not incentivized by greed and money and social validation to have these like positions, it's gonna be a really bad look, and that's what it is, as far as he's concerned. Like, I'm not gonna necessarily say that his socially liberal positions are the reason necessarily. For example, George Carlin had a lot of socially liberal positions, but the way he presented them through like comedy or whatever seemed to actually like resonate with people, and it wasn't turning them off. Even if people didn't agree with it, it was like nobody hated him or couldn't stand him or called him fake for it.
Yeah.
But that's not who Hasan is. He's not a George Carlin. He's a completely fake, inauthentic actor.
Yeah, I don't see the fakeness at this point if even the Democrats even should understand that he's kind of a threat to them.
Bro,
like, I never really understood
Hasan is the one pushing back against the claim that he got kicked out of the DNC.
What, like a couple of months ago, you mean?
Yeah, he's saying he didn't get kicked out.
When did he say that?
I've heard him say it, pretty sure. Prohibited from streaming, so they basically said you can't be here if you're going to be streaming.
And they had invited him there to join a Creators for Kamala.
So they had invited him there in the first place, but he wasn't allowed to live stream the whole thing.
To be part of Creators for Kamala was the name of the group they invited him to.
So had he turned his live stream off, he would never have gotten removed. To be clear about what happened.
I mean, that shows you exactly what he does for the Democrats. He, takes radical energy and filters it right to the DNC, just like AOC. That's why I keep saying it's the AOC effect.
Yeah, I don't really see that connection between him if he can constantly bash them as like many times as he can.
Then why did they invite him to the DNC to be one of the Creators for Kamala? They clearly see him as useful.
I feel like that was a choice they decided to make, but I don't think they really went into
I'm
deep
just
aspect
telling
on
you,
how
they give him
super left it
blow-ups
is.
on CNN. Mainstream media does nothing but gas this guy up. I'm telling you, he's part of the system.
Bro, they've always,
Dude, we're all part of this, like, this
always
system.
Listen, bro. It's easy to say we're all part of the system, But when you're like us, who are deplatformed constantly, subject to reputation destruction, harassed by feds,
Fire,
literally
firing
demonetized all the time,
campaign.
and like just so many things done against us constantly. Yeah, bro, there's a difference between like being part of the system in the sense of buying an iPhone and being part of the system in the sense of like no systemic resistance or pushback to anything you're doing when you're a high profile, self proclaimed left wing streamer.
And let me tell you, Tecmo, the system, and when I say the system, I mean the ruling class, has always, always, always needed people like Hasan and AOC who posture as being left wing, but their ultimate purpose, even though they don't say it, and this is what makes them so effective at what they do, their ultimate purpose is to bring people back to the Democratic Party, to say we need to work within the Democratic Party and go out to the elections for the Democratic Party. There have always been these kind of people, and no matter how much revolutionary rhetoric they give, their final solution is always we need to work through the Democratic Party. They've always needed these
through
people.
AOC because I have had like 50-50 like views
So
on
she
her.
voted for Iron Dome. What
Hasan-
else do you say?
Yeah, but I
He
think
voted
another
to fund
issue
the
is,
Iron
like,
Dome.
I've never really seen him as like very big of like part for the Democrats is like his like amount and support for the Palestinian movement, and just the fact that like
I don't really
Democrats
see
that have,
how
like
he's
Richie Torres like has constantly like spammed like
Being
the
better
circle
than Richie
outside.
Torres doesn't make you a revolutionary. I'm sorry.
look.
I mean, if you're
I'm
getting
glad.
targeted by Democrats who are funded by AIPAC, it's like that's got to mean for something. Like that
I
doesn't mean you're
don't.
part
I
of it.
don't think he's
part of the
being
game.
targeted. I think that every single person that's quote unquote targeted him was themselves like grasping at straws, like struggling to do so, rather than an actual systemic, united systemic attack. Listen, when somebody is attacked by the system, you can tell. You can actually tell. Like it's so clear because everyone is coming after them, all of them constantly, nonstop. Like you could tell something is a coordinated attack, all right? And he has now never gone through that.
Yeah, I think that's one thing I do agree on. Like, I would like to see him like more interact more like a stronger like leftist like people like your guys yourselves and a few other people I can think of. But then again, there's that always just thing of like I do notice that he does hate that little like debate stuff that constantly goes back. Like he doesn't want to do that.
Bro, do you think I like debates? I
Debates
literally
suck.
don't. I
hate debate.
literally do not like debating.
Hate debates.
Yeah, there's just always that issue with me where it's like for some people it's like, is it the intentions for it really to try to get a message out about for like actual leftism, or is that
It's
there's
about
some people who it's like really
no,
just
I'll
getting
tell
out?
you exactly why you have to debate. Debating is about who is willing to stand on a position and say it with their chest, even while they're getting pushback. And
like,
how
I
do they
agree.
respond? And how do
Yeah,
they
I agree
respond
with
to that?
like like leftists debating other
bro,
leftists,
it's-
but just debating the right wingers and all right people, like I don't see it at this point. Like I feel like it's so repetitive. Like
Debates
looking back
are
and trying to
about-
go to like
No,
that
no, no.
2015,
You-
2016 era where you had guys like Shapiro,
Yes, you
Jimmy
can't
Crowder.
give
It's like
that.
people
Yeah,
are
they
done with
have
that
been
stuff.
lapping, bro. They've been winning because, listen, you have debates are everything because it's about dominance. It's about who wins and who gets destroyed. All right, and if you stop doing that, the other side is gonna grow and win.
Yeah, I don't really see it like that because I've seen more
But
and
that's
more.
what's happening.
And why do
That's
the right
what's
wingers have
happening.
so many
For
followers?
being more hypocritical
Bro,
in their talking.
Listen.
Like
That
everybody
kid-
knows that Ben Shapiro is the like speak fast and like repeat like
And he
other
built
people's
the
talking
giant
points.
audience because all the
Midwest.
left tried to do was censor him instead of engaging with the argument and
Midwest. Do you
crushing
know that
him.
guy? You know that guy? Can we say his name? Rick Fuentes.
Rick Fuentes.
Rick
Yeah,
Fuentes.
Thank
that
you,
guy?
Juice Marf.
Yeah, I
Listen,
hate that dude.
that guy will literally not debate me. He's running from
Me either.
debating. All right.
Yeah,
That's
no,
how
you
much
guys shouldn't
monsters
like debate him.
we-
You shouldn't
That's-
debate him though.
We would crush him. He's scared of it because he
He
knows what
won't
would
debate
happen.
us.
He's
That's how
he's a
much he
gross
becomes.
groiper. Like what's the point in feeding into that though? I don't
We're
understand.
not
Because
feeding
we
into
would
it. We're
crush
destroying
him.
him.
We'd crush him. That's why he won't debate us.
His friend Jake Shields is trying to get him to do one with me, and he won't do it because he knows the effect it would have. It would show his audience his ideological
war is a
incoherence.
game
Yeah, I
of
agree with that. And
dominance.
like even a lot of
Whoa.
the other people, like I've noticed, like they're too like cowardly to actually do it. Like for years, I always seeing Ben Shapiro constantly going around these like college students, but like I never seen him do a debate with Norman Finkelstein, Noam
Yeah, but you
Chomsky,
need
Richard
if
Wolff,
you're gonna be the young
because they kind of prove in that
radical,
point that they're hypocritical.
bro.
So there's really no point in doing that debate.
Yes,
It's like the more they
it's like
run
saying
for it.
there's
That's
no
why they
point
won't
in
do it.
fighting a war, bro. That's like saying there's no point in fighting a war. Of course, there's a point. It's everything. It decides everything.
Yeah, I don't know because I just really see the more and more of these big like right wingers, and then the Vic Fuentes types. Like, just really, it really becomes that line between who are we actually going to like learn something from this, like whether like talking to one
No,
another
you're
or
gonna
actually just getting something out for clout.
you're going to demonstrate the superiority of a given position to, and you look like you have a stronger position when you're chasing after everybody and debating everyone. And it looks like your position is weak when you're never willing to put it on the line in any way.
Yeah, but it's just like so tiresome and seeing like all this content.
I agree it's tiresome. Politics is tiresome. War is tiresome. But there's no rest in this. If you're claiming to be left wing, you can't rest and say you're tired. You got to keep fighting.
I had another question of it, like for you guys, like when you guys were growing up, what type of like content, like whether it would like was music or any sort of media that really got you into your political beliefs?
I watched The Amazing Atheist. T.J. Kirk was probably one of the first people I got into.
Oh wow! And what about you?
I don't know. I just like I didn't like the system, and I liked the militancy of like Marxists, and to me Marxists at that this was like 2007 or something. So like when I heard about Marxism, it was like Che Guevara, and it was guerrillas, and it was like the Bolsheviks and the Red Army, and I was like, that's like the revolutionaries fighting the system. It's like that's how I got into it.
Yeah, I never really understood on how deeply biased, like in any kind of media you can find. Whenever, like, take for example, Call of Duty, like straight up
Hold on.
propaganda.
This guy named Joe Mama goes, "Oh, so you were just edgy?" Yeah, I was 11. I was like 11 or 12. So yeah, a little bit.
Oh yeah, but yeah, I was saying like growing up, I never really understood the big like right wing bias that like I've seen in so much media, whether it come to like video games or movies. Like like the good example like Call of Duty, obviously being like a lot of Western imperialism like bias, like the Black Ops like games, like the amount of like insane like anti-communist like story like writing in terms of those games, like whether it became to like the anti-MPLA mission or that that really embarrassing like attempt at Fidel Castro, like in the Black Ops 1 games, or even something like American Sniper. Never understood how the hype for that movie, and just finding out that Chris Kyle was.
I'm going to tell you the actual story. The story began when I was like 5, when I was traumatized by a movie called Blood Diamond. And,
oh yeah, with Leo, yeah.
And I was like, these bad guys were really bad in the movie, and they were like the revolutionaries. And I just became fast. Like, what is a revolutionary? What's a revolution?
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, it's when they're rising against the government. Like I remember learning about this in 5th grade. I was like, oh, that's really bad. But then as I kind of grew up a little, I was like, actually, the government's bad, and being a revolutionary is good.
Yeah, that movie was wild.
So, like, that was the pipeline that started it, was, like, just being fascinated by the idea that governments can be overthrown and change.
For me, it was actually Act 10 in Wisconsin. The Koch brothers governor, Scott Walker, crushed the teachers' unions, and my dad was a teacher, and there were all these protests, and we went and protested around the Capitol. And the more I learned about the government, I realized it was corrupt, and I was like, eventually you get to the point where you realize you need a revolutionary change, but it was being with those people marching around the Capitol, like we can actually fight back against this shit. And seeing the depravity of Walker and how corrupt he was and how smug he was about it and how he shit on working class people like my dad, it just made me want to do anything to get these people out of power and unite the kind of people who were marching around the Capitol against him.
But you know what's screwed up is that, you know what Hassan's entry into so-called left politics was?
What?
His uncle being a millionaire who owned a media company.
Oh yeah, Cenk. Yeah. Yeah. If anything, I've disliked the Young Turks less and less now ever since.
When I was 11, I was reading about Che Guevara. When Hassan was 11, he was fighting diabetes.
Okay.
I'm just saying, for him to call people fighting really hard right now, feds, it's just kind of crazy that this guy is like literally just learning about Marxism and he's making these claims that he's making.
And we have genuine stories that where we came from the ground up, from the working class, and dedicated our lives to fighting the system. And he just shows up at Cambridge, the university that's closer connected to the British MI6 and British intelligence than any other, and says that we're the feds. I mean, how sketchy is that? Thank you, Juice Morph, by the way. Juice Morph has given me more gifts than I've ever gotten.
But what is this orb right here? Like, what is this thing?
I think gifts or likes? I don't know. Does anyone know?
I have no idea.
Is this money? Is this $300? Wow. Thank you for the 300, guys.
It says points.
But yeah, I just wanted to say that I feel like the biggest thing for just more I guess younger generation is to just to be more for that open access media for them to understand the gateways to big leftism and socialism. And I want to say I appreciate you Midwest Marks for what you've been doing. So I want to give you respect to you for on that.
Thank you, man. Tell Hassan to have me on and stop calling me a fed if you're in the chat.
Yeah, I'll try to do something about that. Yeah, I'll try to. I don't know. I feel like that's one thing. The one thing I feel like anything that us a big left content creators that we just really need to understand that I don't know that unity that I feel like we definitely need at this point because definitely need it come 2025. But yeah, I just want to say thanks for your content and I just appreciate your time.
Thank you, Tecmo. What's this guy, Ayahuasca? Go ahead, bro.
Juice Morph is Ingalls, officially. Holy shit, so much. Yo, Ayahuasca.
Bro, wake up! Alright, I'm done with this. Alright, Eddie, I don't know. Are you ready to wrap up?
Yeah, I gotta go to sleep soon. Even though I'm making dude, these galaxies are so expensive.
How much?
I've never made this much from alive.
Wow. How much?
I don't know what it's gonna be.
Damn.
This is a real life Ingalls we met here.
Wow.
Thank you, Juice Morph. I gotta give Juice Morph a follow.
Galaxies. It's 1,000 points. Let me see how much points are. So 8. Wait, what? Okay, 70 coins is $1. Oh my God, what's going on? And then a galaxy is 1,000 coins. So 1,000 divided by, so it's about over $10. Right?
Juice Morph has 560,000 followers.
Bro, get this shit out of here, bro. I don't care how much money you're spending, bro. Get that shit out of here, bro.
I do. Keep sending them this way, Juice. You're the man, bro.
Give Eddie those things. I don't even know how to turn that off. I don't. Yeah.
All right. Thanks we can wrap it up.
So you part of the gifts is you can buy filters. Why don't you guys ever give
Put
me
'em
a
on.
cool filter? It's always that y'all are always giving me like dumb shit. You know, I don't even care about money, guys. Anyway,
I do. You can just send all of it to me. I'll look as ridiculous as possible. Thank you, Juice Bar, for real. I'm gonna DM you. Appreciate that. All right, we ready to wrap?
I'm ready to wrap up.
All right, this will be on YouTube at Midwestern Marks. Thanks for hanging out with us. Tell Hasan to quit being a coward and have us on.